What's going on, guys? UFC Fight Island 8 back with a Wednesday card. Another Wednesday card. You probably remember this from the last Fight Island. So 3 cards in 1 week. Busy, busy, busy. Back after just a few days, right? We had the video a couple days ago. Great main event. Max Holloway, what a performance, right? Can't really say it was a great fight. You see a lot of people mention how good the fight was, but technically it was how good the performance was from Max, right? Unbelievable how Holloway came out, dominated the fight from start to finish. One of the better performances I've seen in the UFC by a fighter, guys. Definitely the best I've seen from Max in a very long time. Some people say the Aldo fight was good. That was a good performance. But unbelievable. He landed a record in significant strikes. 141 alone just in the 4th round, guys. 141 alone. You can see the numbers up here. 445 significant strikes. And, you know, all I can say is what a chin. What a chin from Calvin Kattar. Unbelievable. Shoutouts to Calvin Kattar. He showed that New England toughness, that strength coming out of that gym. He took a lot of shots, guys. Now, you know, not a lot of hard shots. That elbow was bad. It wobbled him. But he stood on his feet. I got to give the guy a lot of credit. He was just outclassed. There's just different levels to this game. And I had never seen him as a champion. I don't think he'll ever get that title shot, but he'll always be a good fighter. He'll always give guys good fights. Not in this case. Max dominated him, and it clearly wasn't even close. But yeah, it was a great fight. I did have a small play on him at plus 137. I wish I went a little heavier on the play. It was more of a value bet for myself, which is a smaller play. Yeah, not the best card. No profit last week. We ended up missing out on the best bet, which was Brown and Condit to go to not go the distance. I thought both guys would come out swinging and looking for the knockout, especially towards the end of their career here. They want to put up a nice performance and not wrestle for almost over 2 rounds. Didn't see that coming. We lost on that, and we also lost on the part. I had a 2-fight parlay. Buckley he ruined it. It was tough to call that, tough to see Buckley getting knocked out like that. I didn't see that. A lot of upsets on this card. This card probably screwed most of the market. Obviously, the right play was just betting Max, and that's it. But, you know, it's hard to do that. It's hard to just sometimes narrow it down to one bet or two. Trying to go more limited on this card. This card's very limited from a depth standpoint. Main card's not that great. Obviously, the main event should be enticing. We should see who wins the grappling battle in that one, but that's going to be exciting to see here. Let's go to the updated record. 44-20. That's 69%, guys. That's 13 months of plays. You know, very tough to stay in the 70% range. But I'm grinding it out. I've been grinding it out for months and months at the 70% range and hovering around. The highest I went up to was 72%. So we're trying to grind it out and stay above 65%. Definitely is the goal here. If I can stay in the 70s, I'll be very happy. We're at plus 41.4 units all plays. For all my personal plays, guys, check out systemsportscapping.com for subscription options. All plays sent by email to subscribers after weigh-ins. So things can change, right? I'm doing this video a couple days before so people can get some eyes on it. Things change after weigh-ins sometimes. So, you know, plays may change due to weigh-ins, or I get some more information on the fight. So that's what the benefits of the subscription. And obviously you get all my sports plays as well. We're doing well in all sports. I'll be looking at just a few a few fights on this card. This card is not that great, guys. To be honest, sure we might see some nice knockouts and some good fights, but just from a name standpoint, and I think a matchup standpoint, there's not that many good fights here. I'll go over the main card here. The main event, the co-main event, and the main fight in the prelims. Obviously, the Conor McGregor, much anticipated return of Conor McGregor is next Saturday versus Dustin Poirier. Chandler, Hooker, big fights on that card. So I'll be going over that full main card I should be out on Thursday for the Saturday card, so look out for that. Let's get right into it, guys. Chiesa versus Magny. Minus 138 for Magny. You can see it anywhere go up to 145, 138, 130. Shop around if you are on that side. This is a 5-round main event, guys. 5-round main event. We should see a little bit of everything in this fight, in my opinion. We should see, some striking where Magny has the clear advantage. Both guys like to grapple on the cage. You're going to see a lot of grappling in this. You're going to see Chiesa trying to get Magny down. So we're going to see some wrestling as well. Both guys on a 3-fight win streak. And they have similar styles. Just like I mentioned earlier, Magny has the advantage with the reach here in the striking department, and he has a little bit more experience as well in this division here. You can see the nice reach here in the the dimensions right here. A nice little reach for Magny. You can see a lot of sticking moves for him in this fight. Get in and out, jab in and out. He has a nice jab. He's been working on that jab recently. So, I do think the winner of this probably should get a top 5 guy or a big name. Big name guy, top 5 guy. Chiesa's last 2 wins have been against guys that I think just really fit his style, outworked them and grappled to a victory. Chiesa has only fought 3 times in the last 3 years, so about a fight a year. He's been dabbling in commentary as well and a few other adventures, so that's something to keep in mind here as well. Magny's downfall, I think personally in his career, guys, he's a good fighter, but I just think his downfall he's been very quiet, no personality really. He never really called out anyone. However, someone's been talking to him. He's got a new manager or something, and they're trying to change that. He called out Khamzat, however, never really got any real attention. He tried, though. I give him an A for effort for at least trying. This should be... It's the new UFC, unfortunately. You have to have a big mouth. You have to call out guys. You have to have that personality to get recognized. So sometimes it can be difficult for guys that just want to fight and get in there and not talk, right? But that's how this new UFC is, unfortunately. I think this fight should be a good one. I do have a subscriber play on the side. I'm not going to get too much into the side here, but I do think this fight possibly could go 5. I do see it going over 2.5, 3.5 rounds. I could see maybe a later finish from a guy in the 4th or 5th round, later into the fight where maybe someone does gas out or gets tired. So you want to maybe shop around for that. This fight will come down to how Magny can defend the takedowns. He is the better striker, like I mentioned. He also will have that reach. However, Chiesa is just going to be looking for takedowns and grappling and trying to get it on the cage, try to get him on the ground to grapple. He has a small advantage with the grappling. I don't think it's a big advantage, but I do think he has a small advantage in the grappling department. He may be able to wear Magny out on the ground, but how long is he going to be able to do that for is the question, and it is a 5-round fight. So it should be a close fight. You do see a little money coming in on Magny. He did open up a little less than this number currently. But yeah, I know Neil has been really working on his grappling a lot down there in Denver. His cardio is good. Chiesa has pretty solid cardio too. For a 5-rounder, I can't really comment on that. Not too sure. But I know he does train, he's one of the best grapplers in the UFC or in this division especially. So It's tough to say his cardio won't last, but can it last if it goes 3, 4, 5 rounds? That's the big question here. We're going to have to see that. I do like a side on this, and I do like it to go, like I mentioned, over 2.5 rounds, 3.5 rounds here. You know, I don't see anyone getting knocked out. It could be maybe a submission or a ground and pound, is my opinion. I don't see a stand-up striking battle where there's going to be a knockout, just because no guys really have power to do that. It's more Magny, stick and go, jab and go, long reach, and then, you know, grapple if needed. But that's where Chiesa is going to be able to come in and grapple with him. So that's going to be the battle. Who's going to be the better grappler? We know Chiesa has the credentials as a better grappler, but we'll see what happens here. Co-main event, guys. Co-main event, Alves versus Laziz, minus 225. Yes, minus 225 for Laziz. Interesting co-main event here. You know, they're only putting it as the co-main event due to the home field advantage for Laziz, in my opinion. He made his debut last Fight Island versus a tough Razak. Last Island, if you remember that, he was able to pull the upset. I think he got up to around plus 290 to plus 300 to close that, and he was able to cash on that. This guy was forced on that card. He impressed, right? I think one of the guys, I forget who it was exactly in Dubai, but maybe one of the promoters out there or commentators was trying to get him on the card to Dana White's matchmakers, and they put him on the card. So that was impressive, and he was able to pull up the big upset. 10-1. What he did is he showed a good chin. He showed a good chin and was able to take some big shots last time out. Laziz will have a nice reach advantage in this fight, 4 inches. Alves has been around the UFC, guys. If you don't really know him too much, he's been around since 2014. Hasn't fought a lot. Like, he's been a year off, year in. He hasn't been putting up a lot of fights, but he's a lot more fights, obviously, than the one in Laziz, right? He has beat, are you ready for this? Colby Covington. He's beat Colby Covington. This is back in 2014, where Colby Covington was not close to as good as a fighter as he is now, or wasn't even on the market, or no one really knew about him. So I'm not going to take that into too much effect here. He does have 2 losses in his last 3, and is coming off a loss to a Randy Brown, where he lost by submission, which was kind of unexpected, at least by submission. You know, I expected Randy Brown to be the better striker in that fight, and he was, with that reach especially. And he just gasses out Alves. That's his problem. He gasses out. He's going to be able to wrestle. He's going to have the wrestling advantage on Laziz. However, is he going to be able to maintain it for 3 rounds? And I don't think so. Every tape I put on Alves, he gasses out. He's going to be able to get Laziz down to the ground, sure, but I think Laziz will be able to scramble. Laziz has good cardio. He showed it. He went 3 rounds with Razak. He was able to take the punishment. He is durable. Alves is not durable. This is why I'm looking at Laziz. I just don't like this price at minus 225. Guess what, guys? This opened up at a pick'em for Laziz. Yes, a pick'em, and then it just skyrocketed quickly up the ladder here, up to minus 225. So yes, I don't like laying minus 225 on this. I do like that he's at home. He's going to have a big crowd on his side, so that does play advantage. Is it going to come in as pressure? And it could, right? It could, and I don't know him that well on how he could handle that pressure. He fights around Dubai all the time. He's like their main fighter, main prize guy out there. So I think he does it. I think he gets it done. You may want to look at it in a parlay, to throw him in a parlay. Alves could win this fight on the ground. He could dominate his wrestling, and he could dominate Laziz on the ground. So I wouldn't be 100% surprised if Laziz does lose this fight. But I am confident enough to put Laziz in a parlay here, minus 225. If you're asking me decision or KO, I would lean the KO just because of, like I mentioned, Alves's cardio. Did it improve over a year? It could have. I haven't seen him fight for a year, so it could have improved, but I can't, from what I've seen in the past, there's nothing that tells me why Laziz doesn't win this fight due to the circumstances. and he's going to be the better striker in there as well. So if this stays on the feet, it definitely benefits Laziz. But hey, this could be a close, grinded out decision win as well. So that's why it's tough to be on an outcome here. But I would lean the finish for Laziz. But what I like more is a minus 225 in a parlay. The last fight, which I think should be on the main card because it's probably the third or fourth best fight on the whole card, in my opinion, is the prelim main event, Omar Akhmedov versus Tom Breeze. Now, right now you got Tom Breeze at minus 160. I don't think it's really warranted, to be honest. This should be a fun battle, I think, and it's going to be how long could Omari Akhmedov last in there? You know, is he going to be able to wrestle with him, get Breeze to the ground, and is Breeze going to be able to work off his back? That's the question here. Akhmedov's coming off that tough loss to Chris Weidman. You guys probably remember that. He didn't look that great, and Weidman was just too big. He was just able to out-wrestle him, and he actually got dominated on the ground pretty much, and Weidman was able to win that fight as the bigger, stronger guy. Now, it's different here with Breeze. Breeze isn't known for his wrestling. Very good striker. If this fight stays up on its feet, Breeze is going to win this fight. He could even get a knockout here. Omari's a pretty tough guy. I think he's fairly durable. He does have some knockouts. He does have four, and he has 5 losses, and 4 of them are either submission or knockout. So that's a little concerning. But you know, Omari's fighting close to his home. He's gonna have some fans in there for sure. He's gonna have some fighters backing him up. Breeze obviously coming from England. So I don't think he's going to really have any fans out there. So that helps a little bit, especially these Russian fighters. It does a lot of pride, and it does have, it does get them fired up a little bit more, I think, personally. And I just think if Omari can keep this on the ground and wrestle, he can win an ugly one. Now, can he do it for 15 minutes? I don't know, because Weidman was able to just turn the fight around, and he was able to win it just on the ground and out-wrestled him. Now, obviously, like I mentioned, Breeze doesn't have these credentials, but he has striking credentials. He has power. He has a 91% finish rate. It worries me a little bit. That's why it's tough for me to jump on a side here. Now, if I had to play this fight, I would lean Tom Breeze. I just don't like this minus 160. I do think this fight could go over 2.5 rounds. I think if there is a finish, it's in the 3rd round. And, this could be even a decision type of fight as well. I can see Tom Breeze winning by decision. I can see Omari win by decision, so maybe fight to go to the distance. Or over the 2.5 rounds would be a good play here. Tom Breeze does have some grappling credentials. He's not horrible. He doesn't have any really wrestling credentials, but he's able to work off his back quite decently from what I've seen, from what I've read. So I think that could play in a factor here. If Tom is able to establish that and able to avoid just takedowns after takedowns and the grappling, he could win this fight. So that's why I'm leaning here with Tom Breeze. All right, guys, that will do it for this video. A little shorter one. It is a midweek card. Like I said, not the greatest card. I'll be back with the full main event card and some more free picks for you guys for next Saturday's big pay-per-view card. I already have a few plays that I already have in mind that I'll probably be sending out to subscribers a little earlier than usual, just so we don't miss any value. I don't expect any weight issues when they're overseas like this and they're quarantined for a week, 2 weeks. So I feel a little more comfortable to put out plays before weigh-ins. So I'll be doing that for today, for this week's card on Wednesday, and for Saturday. So look out for those. All right, guys, please like, subscribe to the channel. It does help a lot. Still working on some things with the videos and the background. Still getting used to that, so bear with me. But hopefully you find out some good information in these breakdowns. And guys, like I always say, bet smart and know your limits. Take care.